Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Jay Faith from the Right Mind Wednesdays podcast. I just want to let y'all know in this upcoming episode 58, we discuss Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, along with sensitive topics like suicide. It is our number one priority at the Right Mind Wednesdays podcast to be mindful of these situations and these sensitive topics and to make you aware, along with just letting you know if you or somebody you know needs help, please reach out to them. Please reach out to somebody close to you and find support, or look up the suicide hotline number, which is below here on the screen for you. You are not alone. God bless you, and we hope that this episode inspires people to seek the help that they desperately need and also brings awareness to a sensitive topic. We also want to give a special shout out to Cam, our 13-year-old special guest for this episode, who shared very insightful thoughts on these topics and ways that we can help each other.
I done did so many wrong things in my life, but now I'm in my right mind.
Dude, the lives on the computer was insane.
That
was a time.
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah. That was an experience in itself.
So, like, when you look back on that, what are some of your first thoughts?
I mean, honestly, like he said, like, I just look at the growth first and foremost. Like, this is huge to be where just we are with multi-cameras, even if we are, I'll be honest, live on TV, iPhones, like, to even have just that knowledge to be able to do stuff like that and have a space to actually record a podcast without worrying about Wi-Fi and all that other stuff. It's super dope. And I'm glad that I kept going with it. Mm-hmm. Because there was definitely, I wouldn't say that there were moments where I wanted to quit. Like music, a little bit different. There were definitely moments where I was like, I don't know. But with the podcast, it was just like, I don't know what it was, but it was just something that was just like, just keep pushing forward. Like, just keep doing it. Don't worry about the tech. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. Like, just keep punching away at what it is. Just keep getting people, and just kept doing that. And eventually, Mike came with this space, and we linked at the right time with everything, and here we are now. And it's been, everything worked out financially, space-wise, time-wise. Everything worked out, and I was like, I can't plan.
I feel like everything eventually does work itself out, though.
Oh, it will.
You know what I mean? Like, as long as you continue to strive forward and try and take, even if it's baby steps forward, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like, a baby step forward is better than a full step backwards.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, I've hit it. I've questioned myself over the last year, since 2 years, whatever. Like, yo, like right now, bro, I got nothing. I'm like, damn, like, what's going on? Like, yo, is this it? Mm-hmm. Did I peak?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like the voice in my head's like, don't worry about it. Just keep going. You got this. Like, and eventually you put the work in and you kept pushing forward, and look at you now. Look, Mom, on TV. You know what I mean?
But that is such a weird perspective to be in, where you kind of, I wouldn't say that you have everything that you want, but it's definitely everything that you've wanted.
Right.
Or not everything, I shouldn't say, but it's definitely things that you've wanted. And I'm speaking for myself too, but just to go on, like, I've been even thinking, like, sometimes I think about that with the podcast. I'm like, oh man, like, I wish I had more cameras. I wish I had that, I wish I had this. I wish I was a little bit tall, I wish I was a baller. But then I'm like, dude, you have a studio, you have a great team with you.
This is what you wanted a year ago.
Our socials
you know what I mean?
Our socials are super dope. Like, I still can't get over that 6K video. Like, to us, we're like 6K, like, super dope.
Time out. Let's see. I haven't heard this. Let's hear it. You guys hit 6K
on one of the reels that we posted up. Like,
my guy. Yo, that's gas, bro.
It was so exciting. We were like,
you guys.
We're like in the group chat, like, talking about, like, as it's going up, because the other day we were like, oh my goodness, it's like at 4K, and then all of a sudden it just kept going up, and I don't know, we're like talking in the group chat, and
that's what's up.
Moments like those. I'm happy that we're talking about this too, because I've been thinking about this like so heavily lately, of just like remembering to like stop and smell the roses in the moments of like in real time, being grateful for them in real time.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you only get your first times once, right?
Yeah.
So it's like so important to be present in that and just be like actively enjoying it and excited and whatever that means for you. And like, I think a lot of people, I've watched this happen where something is so amazing or in their perception is amazing for them and their journey, and then they're scared to show their excitement. And I'm like, what are you doing?
So I think
Like,
That's
people,
what I'm
like,
trying to do.
I feel like people think that like, yo, they're gonna judge them for being excited because like, yo, that could be for someone who's not achieving what you're achieving. I could like be salty towards you because you're achieving what I want. But like what they don't see is like, yo, where you came from, where you came from. Like
That's what I'm saying.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like everyone wants that instant gratification.
But the way
And
that I
it
feel
just-
about it is like if you're working that hard, because you know, right? Obviously, you know
Definitely.
exactly how much work you're putting into something and how bad you've wanted something. So like, why wouldn't you be like, yes? You know, like I don't know.
Yeah, to me, it feels like we hit like 1 million
Right.
streams on it or whatever, because it's just, again, like we look at how far we've come as
Right,
far as
yeah.
the podcast,
Right.
and you know, to how we posted it and like no hashtags, like just the topics, like stuff like that, and then to see it just continuously grow. And it's been multiple videos that we've, you know, we've hit like 2K, we've hit like 3 and other ones and 6. And, you know, some people are like, yeah, that's my regular Tuesday morning,
Right.
you know, type of deal. But it's like, dude, like we're
But
just
that's-
trying to appreciate
Yeah.
Right.
those little growth moments that we do
exactly.
have, because,
That's exactly it.
you know, we remember where we came from, but also we have to have that humility of it all too, because once we, you know, hopefully start hitting those like millions or 100,000s
Yeah.
and stuff like that, like we have to remember, keep that humility of it all, so that, you know, our heads don't get too big where it's just like, look at us, we got 100 million.
No,
K,
I
you
think
know,
it's so
on a bunch of
important to
videos.
just like stay fresh in that and like,
Yeah.
because you don't know how long it's gonna last. Moments are fleeting. You don't
Mm-hmm.
know if this is gonna be 1 time or 10 times or
Yep.
whatever. Like,
Yep.
you know, we're just kind of hoping. So I feel like you gotta just
Yeah,
stay humble.
because when we hit like 10K on a video, I want to look back and be like, yo, remember that time we had Matt Young on the podcast, we put up that thing and we got
Yeah.
6K? Look at, we got 10K.
Are you
now.
talking
It's
about
super
Matt
good.
relatively?
Yeah,
young?
Matt
Wait,
relatively.
wait, hold on. That one you posted got 6K?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Where he's like, I'm
Did
relatively
you
young.
use
That one.
footage I sent you?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you should be tagged in there.
I probably am, but that's gas, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
That's gas, bro.
We're like 6.2 right now, something like that.
Oh, shit.
Last time I checked, that was earlier this
Oh
morning.
I
shit.
think it's like 6.3 right now.
That was cool.
Yeah, it
Could
was
be-
like
could be
6'3"
more,
something
probably
when I
not.
looked.
But it's just crazy to me. The only weird thing, and again, I haven't paid for promotion.
Yeah,
I haven't done any of that.
I've been
stuff.
struggling with wanting to pay for promotion,
Yeah.
but staying true to myself about not paying for promotion.
Yeah.
But you don't know, like,
It's iffy to me because of the people
so,
that like
yo,
it.
I wouldn't do any of the ones that randomly hit you up on, like, Instagram or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like,
my God.
yo, shout out Hood News. Hood News is somebody
Yeah.
that I would pay the X amount of dollars that they ask for the promotion
Mm-hmm.
because, like, you literally don't know who is watching their page.
Well, even the
You
Instagram
don't.
ones.
You definitely don't. Like, they're surrounded by a bunch of cats, like King Ace, you know, Exit Fame, like 8-Zip, you know what I mean? Like, and those people, those 3 artists are making huge wave.
It's going on an actual
You know what I
page
mean?
as
Right.
opposed to like a
So
funnel.
them being there is being around the people that they're now around. So you literally don't know who's watching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't hit like those random ones. Like, oh, we guarantee you like 30,000.
Oh, no shot,
Like,
no
no,
shot.
I'm not paying for that, dude. I'd
Yeah.
rather pay a local cat.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like them, because I know even if, let's say, it flops and they only get 4 views on
Mm-hmm.
the promotion that they do for you, you know those 4 views are authentic 4 views.
Yeah.
Right.
And it may not be, you know what I mean?
Right.
Even the
Somebody that
boost
you
post.
reached.
Even the boost post, like that's what I was kind of referring to, was like the boost post for
Yeah.
Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
Like even that is like super sketchy. Because,
Yeah.
not sketchy, but to me it doesn't feel real.
Right.
Like I did it for apartments, you know, just because I'm trying to, you know, push it out,
Right.
obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, it gets like 26K, but
Right.
you know, your interaction may only be like 50 people.
Right.
You know,
And half
like
it's the homies.
Yeah.
You know what
and
I
so
mean?
it's
Which is
almost
cool, obviously.
Right. Oh,
Love
always
you guys. Thank
appreciate
you. I
it.
appreciate
Yeah,
all the support.
100%.
You know what I mean? But
but if there's no real engagement, then it's kind of pointless. It's kind of pointless at that time. So like I'm very skeptical, and I do it very not so often. When it comes to that. Just because they're like, we'll get your stuff out and you can pick the target market and this, that, and the other thing. But at the same time, like the results that you're telling me that I should be getting, I'm not. Like people should be clicking the link, and granted, like part of that is probably marketing, but
the views are up. But I mean, you should also be like, increasing followers, increasing engagement, like as a whole, like on other posts and stuff like that consistently. You know what I mean? You get the views that one time, that feels good. But I mean, I want more than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For what I'm paying for, I want more than that.
Yeah. If people I don't know what the seconds is that you need to watch it. Like I know for songs, like I think you have to listen to it for like 30 seconds, and that's considered a stream. It may have changed. Yeah. But I don't know what it is for like an Instagram video that considers it a view.
Right.
So to my point is, if people are taking the time to at least look at this, like it should trickle down into your other posts and what they should be like. Oh, like if I'm taking the time to look at this, I'm probably moderately interested in this and to see what it is. So let me, if I'm at least at that point, at least I'll speak for myself. I'm gonna see what else this person is putting in on their Instagram. Is it just a one post? Or are they like actually somebody that is engaging and interactive and trying to do something with their path, or are they just trying to tack up one post that they have? So but you don't see that. Again, like I said, like you get 26K views, 50 people like it, most of them are the homies, maybe the occasional, and you may get a lot of likes, but again, it's just those random people. Who knows if they actually are bots? Who knows if Instagram is even using bots? So it's like, again, you don't get that engagement, and then the people that message you are, hey, do you want 50K in your video? Like, no, that's what I'm paying for.
DM me ASAP. Your music's dope. Like,
I have this huge opportunity I've been working on. Please check your DMs.
Kayla is blowing up, and she has yet to release music.
Really?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. So like every time I get one of this is how I know I've made it, gentlemen. I'm getting DMs now. Well, because I made my page now, like I've made it like a business page and made it public, and so I can get all the analytics and whatever. And I did that like a month and a half ago ish. So now I'm getting DMs of like, oh, your music's fire. You're whatever. And I was like, hi. So fire, I haven't made it yet, right?
I was gonna say, how long have you been doing? Like, I don't think you have.
No.
Okay. I was gonna say, please tell me if you have, because I need to listen to it.
No, you would have heard it before it was even done. You know what I mean? Like you would have known.
That's why I was like, oh, I missed something.
Dude, we talk all the time. You would have known. I would have been like, come to the studio so you can take pictures, please. Like, and then the other day it was like this DJ had hit me up and was like, yo, your project's so dope, and I was like, yeah, so dope.
That's awesome, dude.
I mean, obviously, I'm polite. I was like, "Oh, you must have me confused with somebody else." No.
You'll get to a point where you won't even answer them.
That's true. Why am I out here trying to be polite? I need to stop.
Hello, I'm Kathy Santonia from Def Jam Records.
Like,
I know your music's fire.
500 followers.
Oh wait, what did Cynical say? He gets like, you have a lot of potential.
No, like, yo, all right, yes, obviously a lot of potential, but like, yo, get out of here, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Come on.
Def Jam Records is not hitting you up in your Instagram.
Right, exactly, bro. They are calling you on your cell phone because they got your number from somebody.
Why do people do that, though? Like, you think that before they message you, they would look and see what you did. Like, it is very clear that I do not have any music out anywhere. Like, that's very clear.
It may be a real person. I don't know. Who knows? But it's probably a bot at that point. Like, that's what I'm chalking it up to.
Yeah, because you, like L.Y.F E said, like you have those people that are like, oh, like I'll promote you, and oh, I'm from this record label. But then you look, they have 2 pictures, 4 followers, one person that they're following. Like, dude, and it's website. Like no website,
and they try to charge you for something.
And the picture is the same picture
for this
that
amount you can. I can get you XYZ.
Like
I'm gonna get you on TMZ.
All right.
Yeah, like no, I'm all set. So.
But yeah, so my music is really fire, guys. I just wanted to let you know.
The unreleased, uncreated.
That my project's super dope. And yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing more.
As soon as it comes out. As soon as it comes out of my head, I would love to share
That was
it.
deep right now, right?
In my mind.
Gonna be.
Wait, Cam, do you have social media, honey? What's up with you?
No,
for
not
that?
really. No.
Okay.
No.
I only really watch
Do
YouTube.
you have any interest in it at all?
There's no point to it. I'm too young for that.
Preach it! Let's go! Sorry.
Damn, you are
I'll
an
say it.
exception. That was a great answer. I
Great
love that.
answer.
Because
So-
why should I worry about that now when I can worry about that when in a couple of years or even if that longer?
Beautiful. That's very true.
Right.
And end podcast. End on that good note. Let's go.
Literally,
That's
that
it.
was
That's
like
a
the
wrap.
most beautiful
See you, bud.
answer.
Yeah.
Right? Jeez, man.
That was
Nah,
profound.
if I can hold it off for as long as I can, I will.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be subjected
You don't,
to that.
man.
Like he
I was-
just doesn't. He's doing fine, clearly as it
Yeah.
is without it. You know what I mean, bro? Like, dude, I'll fly out. A lot of his friends have iPhones. Yo, he wanted one. No, here you go. Here's a flip phone that your mom got. You know what I mean?
Trust me,
Flip
man.
phone.
Like,
Use that.
Yeah, like, that's
you know what I mean,
right.
dude. He has Xbox. He has a laptop.
Yeah,
he has a
yeah.
tablet. Like,
So, like, you're good.
you know what I mean? Like, but like, so like, he goes on YouTube and stuff like. He watches like videos and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But like, yo, as far as like an actual Instagram or whatever or Facebook, nah.
Don't waste
TikTok, no, definitely not. You know what I
don't
mean?
waste your time, man. Like, to be honest, and this is coming from somebody who got his first phone at 14 and going into high school. So,
Same.
you know, it's not necessary. Like, I think we said it on the last podcast. Like, everywhere you go, like, there's a phone.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, or everywhere you should be going, there should be a phone.
Yeah. Right.
So it's
exactly.
like, you know, at the same time, you know, because like I have kids at my job, they're like 9 years old, even some of them 8 years
Yeah.
old, and they're like, "Oh, I got a phone." I'm like, "Dude, for what?"
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
One, you're on one of like the safest military bases. Like
Yeah.
you can literally walk from the program to your house, and no one will bother you.
Right, exactly.
Like, what do you need a phone
And
for?
if they do, then they're gonna have World War IX on their hands. You know what I
Seriously,
mean?
they
So-
like if a kid goes missing, the
Yeah.
entire base shuts down.
Oh, yeah,
like no
yeah.
one's leaving, no one's
Yeah.
coming on.
Yeah.
Everything is
Yeah.
shut down. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
So like there's no shot. So I'm just like, man, I don't know. But then they just get so consumed by it, and that's what I loved. I'm grateful that my mom, you know, really like clamped down on even like video game usage and you know being on the computer, like being on my phone.
Yeah.
Like it was like, nah, like you gonna get your work done first,
Yeah.
because that's important.
Yeah.
And then if you have time, you can get on there. But if it starts, you know, getting past your bedtime, man, you better hit the sack, man.
But I feel like we had way more homework in our day because like
Oh,
now like my nieces and nephews are
1000%.
like, Cam, what's up with homework? Do you
The,
get a lot
the
of it?
only real ever homework I get is in pre-algebra. Like that's only it, and it's only like a worksheet a day. That's what we just learned, and then we move on to like the next lesson in the chapter. Then we do that, and then some days we don't have homework, and we just like it's like a free day. I would guess.
Beautiful.
Good. Good.
How equitable is that?
Right.
That is good. I'm happy.
Me, I was crying on a Friday night because I had homework that had to be due on Monday. Like, no.
In every single
every-
class.
every
in every
subject.
five core
That's
classes.
great though, Cam.
Yeah.
That's
You know what I
nuts.
mean?
At least it sounds like they like kind of
Yeah, actually
realize
trying to
that
get you to, like-
children, or no, sorry, I'm not calling you a child, but
Yeah.
that kids like should have more time like at home,
Yeah,
like
no,
to be
so-
like
so
active
from, like,
and do
Yeah.
Fourth-
No,
like,
I agree with you on that.
Fourth grade on, like obviously I go to parent teacher conferences and crap like that, like open house, whatever. Oddly, like they don't really do that anymore since like the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, like
We're off the hook.
whatever. Yeah, I guess I don't know. Anyways, but like I would go and a lot of his teachers would be like, no, then they will not have homework. I don't believe in sending them home. They are here to learn. The at home should be relaxed time at home.
beautiful.
Yeah.
You're here 8 hours, 7 hours a day learning.
Right.
And then,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, yo, you like we did. We got sent home with 3 hours of homework a night.
Oh my god, sometimes
Right.
more,
It was
especially if
absurd.
there
Yeah,
were reports
it was bad.
and like all of this.
So when do you have time to be a kid?
Yeah.
When do you have time to absorb what you've learned? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I understand like the practice mentality of it, but like to go home
I get it.
with like like you said, like multiple
Yeah.
classes, like I could see if like you're just like maybe Monday you get math homework,
Right.
Tuesday
Yeah.
history,
Yeah.
Wednesday science, Thursday whatever,
Yeah.
Friday have some fun on the weekend.
Yeah.
But it's like 3 hours of homework,
Yeah,
and then on top
ridiculous.
of like, oh, we want you to be a student athlete.
Yeah.
You should excel yourself in extracurricular activities. Okay, well, there's
Right.
2 hours of my homework time
Right, yeah.
that is now gone.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll be up till 11 o'clock. Oh, and guess what? I got to get up at 6 to
Right.
catch the bus for school. So where am I going to sleep?
Yeah.
I know.
It was like, here you go, like, you know, write an 8-page essay by the end of today.
Yeah.
Right. Or
So like
all
it's
these,
definitely
Yeah.
not like that with him. Well, from what I've noticed, you
That's
know what I mean.
awesome.
To be honest with
Yeah.
you, dude,
That's great.
Like, I mean, he goes to a summer program, but he basically goes to school year round.
Okay.
And they have homework, but it's literally like 20 minutes.
As it
Okay.
should. It should be
It's
just
like a
a
little
practice.
review sheet.
Go ahead.
yeah,
Ken.
just to make sure that you got it.
Well, it's like only it's not really 20 minutes for the whole homework. It's like sometimes they have you read from like a certain page to the book to like another page, or it's like 20 minutes of this, 20 minutes of that. But it's not like over the top. Like the max I think I've had to do on homework is like probably an hour and a half.
Which isn't too bad
But they also
compared to the
Again,
50 that we.
equitable.
Right.
Yeah.
It's reasonable.
But they also give us like time to do it there too, which is about like another half an hour.
Like you
of
literally have to
homework.
You know,
study
while
hall.
it's fresh in your
Yeah,
head.
he
That's
literally has
great,
like a study
yeah.
hall at the end of the day where
Yeah.
they can do it.
That makes
Oh,
sense.
yeah,
Need
yeah.
help,
I used to
you know
have
what I
study
mean?
hall.
Boom,
Yeah,
That's
just
yeah.
like the other thing. That's basically what it is.
That
You know?
was super
But
helpful.
Fridays they don't have homework. Enjoy your weekend. See you. Bye. Have fun.
Yeah.
It's the way it should be, dude. They're kids.
Right,
You
no,
know what I
that
mean?
is that is the way that
They
too
are
crazy.
kids. You gotta treat them as such.
right. So they can like
Especially
have
if
fun
they,
and
you know,
enjoy
play like multiple sports, you know? Like, you
Yeah,
gotta have
like-
time for that.
Yeah, like think about it. He's doing that in the
It takes
summertime,
up a lot
dude.
of time,
Right.
yeah.
You got baseball, basketball, soccer. You know what I mean? You got everything going, dude.
Yeah.
Well, they're like, you should be well-rounded, but then like slam you with 4 hours of homework. Like,
I know.
how is that reasonable? How does
Yeah.
that make sense? And
Yeah.
they're like, you need to keep your grades up if you want to be a student athlete. Well, I don't want to
Yeah.
be a student athlete if I'm going to be bummed with
Like,
homework
no,
and get
no,
zero
Yeah,
time
no,
to do
exactly.
anything.
No one should be stressing.
Yeah, you should
Right.
not be
Definitely
stressing.
not.
No added stress, like so young.
Definitely not at their age. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? 13 years old.
No,
like
no.
No, it's and they do. They stress hardcore, bro. You see it. You know what I mean? Like I hate to talk
see
about
it.
it,
I
but
see it
look at
every day.
like the suicide rate at like kids' age, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I
nuts.
mean? Like, why does the bad stuff in school happen? Because they get bullied at school or something,
Yeah.
or
I just went through-
because
I'm going through
their
that right
parents
now.
are expecting. I expect you to get this, and they don't.
See
They
that
have to
too, yeah.
overwhelmed. Bro, the kids, they don't know how to process their feelings properly.
No,
You know
not
what I
after
mean?
COVID either.
No, definitely not.
No, I have kids. They'll come into the program, and they'll have homework, and then I'm like, oh, like so, like they're like, I don't understand this. I'm like, so did you learn this today? They're like, no. I'm like, so then why do you have homework on it?
Right.
But then like part of me is like, did you actually pay attention?
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, Cam, I'm interested to especially hear it from you
But-
since you went through it. What do you find is the difference like in school before COVID and after?
Okay, the difference before COVID, it's like kids were like kids, not being like something that they're not saying that they're something that they're not, like not
Okay.
thinking that mentality, but like afterwards, people just like be thinking like they're psychopaths out in school. It's like mad weird. Because like some kids get angry for no reasons, other kids do dumb things for no reason. And it's like sometimes I wish that we were still virtual, even though it's kind of over, you know what I mean? But still, it's like,
Do you find that with the virtual schooling, do you find that changed the ways that people like interact with each other at school, or did you find more like positive things about it?
honestly, I found like people were like people talk still, but it's like the only real like talk there is between like big groups of friends, you know what I mean? Which I like to tend to stay out of those type of groups because all of them are buttholes to everyone because they're because that's just the way they are, and like I don't want to surround myself with people who think like that or act like that just because someone says something about them, someone does something that they don't like, and it's just unfair. So
You're such a smart
The yes
young
people.
person, Cam.
thank you.
You have a very good head on your shoulders.
He gets that from his mama. He gets those handsome looks from me though.
Obviously.
You know what I mean?
No, but thank you for that.
It's like, I know what part I played.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I no shame in playing that part either. Dude. I own it. Thank you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I've been so interested to like know, and obviously you know it from experience. I haven't been in school in 1,005 years, so I wouldn't know.
And I feel like what's not helping is like kids at my age are like changing, and they don't know how to they don't understand how and why they're changing. So it might
Elaborate,
cause
what do you mean?
stress on that. Like I was learning about something. I don't know why I was learning about this, but I was learning basically science stuff, but in my literacy class. Don't know, but it was like about the brain, like your brain's like changing when you're about my age, just adolescence.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
it can go
absolutely
and
right.
it can go all the way up to like the age of 25. You know what I mean? Not being fully
Actually,
developed.
did you know that it's 32,
Well,
depending upon what goes on in your life?
well, from what I read, it was 25.
You're wrong, but anyways.
But so yeah, I feel like that's also not helping too, because kids are trying to figure out who they're supposed to be and what they're supposed to do in life. And personally, I feel like you should just wait until you're out of like high school to try to figure that out, or like halfway through high school, trying to figure that out.
Do you feel like there's just a lot of pressure to know right now at this age, at 13?
I
Or
mean-
do you think people put it on themselves?
I mean, I feel like people just try to like comprehend a bunch of things that they can't comprehend well, and it's hard for
Right.
them, you know. So like, which again, like if you like, I don't know, but like, you have to think in a way that a teenager would think, and of state of mind of why people act a certain way as teenagers, what they think with like school, because I know some kids who love school, some kids who hate school, some kids who have no opinion on school, like, and there's like, I feel like it was also not helping is that kids are introduced to things that they shouldn't be introduced to until they're adults,
Okay.
in my opinion, because some of the things that come out are like mad weird.
Let's talk about it. What do you mean?
Okay, so,
This is a safe space. Safe space.
okay.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I'm not gonna say their name or anything.
Oh, no, yeah, exactly. We won't.
You know,
but
so there's this girl in my class, right? Keep in mind she's white, all right, just for context.
Okay.
And she would always be like mad weird, like so one time some kid like asked her in like my class if she was like a zoophile or whatnot. You know what I mean? She said yes, just saying that with like probably no context.
What is
You know
A
what I mean?
what?
a what?
A zoophile. It's
I'm old, honey. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to explain what that is to me.
If you can safely explain what that is.
It's like if you like animals, but not like as if they're cool, per se.
Huh.
Crickets.
Hit
bro.
me with that one more time.
So like a zoophile is kind of like a person who like they it's not like they think that animals are cool. They like them on like a different level than
Like
cool.
obsessed, kind of. Like
Obsessed,
hyperfixated.
but like
I think I know where this is going.
yeah. I'm
Okay,
just gonna
You
stop
know what
there.
he's trying to
Okay,
say.
I'm just
okay,
gonna
okay.
stop there.
You know what he's trying
Okay, I
to
got
say.
you. I got you. I'm with you.
I'm so
with
sorry.
you.
I wasn't,
It's
and now I am,
good.
and never mind.
Thank you. I got you.
I'm just not trying to push it.
Yeah, no, thank you for
Appreciate it. I
being
wasn't picking up what you were putting
sensitive
down,
to
and
that.
I'm so sorry, but I'm here.
And
ahead, man.
and then this girl, she doesn't know what anything really means. Like she was a weirdo type kid, you know what I mean. And I never said this word in my life, but she would say the N word with the hard R, not knowing what it meant.
Okay.
With kids of race in my school, which is like, and she said it like
Bold
not
move.
once without knowing, but like
what I'm saying.
a lot of times without knowing what it meant, which I find that's wrong. And like that's why I mean like people are like weird like that.
Did anybody say anything?
Like yeah, like and we tried to explain to the teacher and whatever, and like the teacher didn't care. You know what I mean? Like we
I
tried to
noticed that a
explain, the
lot.
teacher would like just ignore us. You know what I
That's
mean? When I'm
interesting.
trying to say it, tell her that what's going on. Like what else are we supposed to do
Right.
as kids? Like we're just growing up, I guess.
No,
Well-
like none of her friends said like, "Hey."
No, none. It was just
Nobody.
kids in my class. It was just messed up.
It is.
A lot. I want to say a lot of people got mad. A lot of people got mad.
Right.
I would hope so. I just hope that they would speak up.
Yeah, that's
For any, it doesn't even have to be the N word. If anything that is derogatory
like just like
towards any,
hateful, or because obviously everyone knows that that wasn't cool, correct?
Yeah,
So
correct.
I'm just surprised that nobody checked her.
or even the teachers.
But
And
then again,
that's
dude, it's not like when we were kids.
I know that's
Yo, if
why
I was
I'm
in
like,
a room, dude, and somebody said that to any of y'all, dude, I would have knocked them out. No hesitation. Don't care. Like, you know what I mean? These kids, like, again, post-COVID, before COVID, now COVID. A lot of these kids became COVID tough. Like, I call it COVID tough because I guarantee you that girl wouldn't have acted like that prior to COVID.
So I have another
You know what I
question
mean?
then for Cam. Because I feel like I don't know if it's a generational thing, and maybe this is where you'll answer this for me, because I feel like if we were all out in public, even individually, whatever, and like there were like something was going down with strangers, I feel like any one of us would be like, yo, like, not insert ourselves, but like obviously if you see someone hurt, you'd make sure they were okay,
Right.
or like call 911 or whatever the situation.
you would
calls
make
for.
some motion action that would
Right.
help to resolve that situation.
Now with like you and your peers, is that not a thing? Is there no call to action if we see something wrong?
Honestly, like the only real thing like I can think of that like was called to action is like, I'm not even joking. Like there's fights in my school. There's a couple of them. Like I would say within a like course of like 2 to 3 months. Like there's a couple of them, but like no one really does anything. Everyone just stands there and watches. And then I'm not even joking. Like one time, a teacher had to run in, and the teacher got decked because the teacher ran in to come to try to help. It was like,
I don't want to laugh.
Yo, I don't want to laugh, dude, but I'm ready to fight in high school and drop some poor teacher, dude. So like, I know what it's like, man.
But yeah, then other than that, there's like no one else who does anything besides teachers, and like I think there's like one police officer in my school. Like, what's that gonna do?
And wait, are you in 6th or 7th grade?
7th.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay.
I mean, like honestly, like no one does anything. They just watch. And like sometimes the fights are random. Sometimes like I'm not even joking. People go out, mainly the girls in my school. They go out of their way to plan the fight. Like what?
I mean, yeah.
Well, that's with anything, dude. That's
That's
what we
a-
used to do
that's-
back
yeah.
in the day, bro. You know what I
We
mean?
used to be like, yeah, like everyone's whispering, like, oh, after school, go to like,
Yeah, exactly. Next
I feel
thing
like
you
the
know,
only
definitely,
the
yeah.
only people that tried to break up the fight though were like the girlfriend of the guy. Like, stop it! Stop
Yeah.
hitting him! Stop!
Yeah.
Like, I think those were the only people. But they wouldn't
But
like
again, though,
go
somebody
grab
was
a
trying
teacher.
to stop it, bro.
Yeah.
Where these kids are throwing hands in the middle of lunch class and everyone's just chilling.
I know. I
There's
guess
not at least one. Like, there's usually at least like one. I mean, I definitely remember like they're like, yo, there's a fight, and like everybody would like be like, yo, I want to see some.
I know everyone like runs. I remember
You got Chris
literally
standing on the table in the
running
lunchroom.
from the 3rd floor of Lowell Cap like all the way down to the Cap because it was just like the halls were buzzing like, oh, so and so's gonna fight,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know everyone's like, oh. I remember that.
Yeah, to keep it from the
It's all
teachers.
a publicity stunt, you know what I mean?
That's
they're
all
trying
it
to get up in the
really
ranks, and
is.
it's like, yeah, if
As
they
Cam was
get a good
saying,
hit on
it's a
somebody,
publicity
like,
stunt. People just plan around it. That you were
Yeah.
saying.
Which I mean, like it's literally during lunch, but like I'm gonna say one good thing about the teachers is that like when the fights happen, they tend to stop it quickly. It's still like not like a thing that lasts for
That's
like
good.
3 minutes,
Okay.
which
That's
it's
good,
like, but it's usually like I would say like a good 30 seconds before the principal starts running, which you don't see him run a lot. I'm just gonna say that.
that's the only time.
Oh,
That was
man,
great.
bro.
That's his
Can't
cardio
say
for the
the
day right
darndest
there.
things.
I was like, can you timestamp that? That was
Drop
great.
it, go ahead, fucking run.
3:30, got you.
That was great.
33.
So well, I'm happy they'll stop fights, but not the hard R's.
Are there any kinds of like ramifications for like fights like that? Like, are there any consequences?
No, literally, like the one time I ever got in a fight at school, which yes, I have. It was once
It happens.
last year, and like I only got suspended for 3 days. Like
So-
that's like.
But there is like a suspension type of thing.
But yeah,
right. So
I'm just
they-
thinking of.
But like usually, but like the one thing I like don't like is that the teachers like what they do. They like say like teachers are like I don't get detentions. I never have gone into detention before. But like some
Good
kids in
man.
my school, they be like, no, I'm
You know
not
what
even
I'm saying,
joking.
dude?
Because like sometimes like teachers like call them out for doing something like talking in class when they're not supposed to.
Oh.
Running around and doing what like they're not asked, and like people like say it's like, oh, they're racially motivated doing this to us because of this,
Who
that,
is saying
this.
that? The students?
Yeah, the students.
Kids are saying
and,
stuff
and it's
like that.
like they're not targeting you. It's just that you're being idiotic and not doing what you're told.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I had the same conversation with
Thank
somebody
you,
else.
Kim.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
absolutely
With a
right.
teen.
They're
Yeah.
not targeting you. You're just acting.
Yeah, like yo, you're in class, supposed to be attention, not running laps around my.
Right. Like it
This
doesn't
is science
matter
class, not
what
gym,
race
you
you
know what I
are.
mean?
You better sit that ass down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I had a kid try to do that to me. Well, not to me. It was to my coworker who
Yeah.
happens to be white, and he said something along the lines like, "I am a proud black boy," and I was like, "That has nothing to do with it. You are yelling through this movie. Shut up and sit down. Like, chill out, like, dude."
Unrelated.
Yeah, exactly, right?
So I was like, dude, what does that have to even do with this? Like, you're not being
Literally.
racially oppressed right now. You can
Unrelated
still
party
watch
of
the
one.
movie.
Your table is ready.
Exactly, right?
But that's just.
You're not being racially oppressed.
You can still
That's
watch
where
the
that's
movie.
where it goes. That's
Yeah,
what he's saying.
that's-
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
like there has to be a motive behind it. Like, no, your
No,
behavior
you're
is just not
misbehaving.
acceptable.
Right.
Or like some of the girls in my class, like they be getting like mad over the dumbest things ever. I swear. So there's this one time, I'm not being nosy or anything. I'm sitting there, and if you're loud enough to where I can hear you screaming and crying because of something that happened to you, who cares who hears it? Because you're the one who's blurting it out.
Right,
So,
it's public information.
Exactly. So like there was this one time this girl cried, I think like for almost a whole day because her boyfriend broke up with her. She was crying the whole day. I'm like, if you're gonna cry, do that on your own time. People are trying to pay attention. If you want, I get
Right,
it. If you-
excuse yourself.
yes,
Yeah.
obviously, but
Right.
like obviously, but still, you can cry and whatever. But like, girl, like, and I'm not even joking. There's like 20 girls around this one girl screaming and yelling at her, like about like how it's okay and like how she wasn't wrong and whatever. And it was
I just remember all those.
I know, I'm like, memories are flooding back.
and it's like,
Such a jerk.
and I'm not being like picky or anything, but it's like just annoying. Like if
No,
you're-
right. Like, I'd be like, girl,
Like-
just excuse yourself. Leave the room. Like, you
Exactly.
can go cry in the bathroom. It's okay.
It's actually
Or
like,
just don't yell.
Exactly.
I know, I'm
Well, how
trying to.
about this? Don't get mad at me
Right. If I
for
start
literally
hearing-
for you know what I mean? Like, yo, I'm in class. Don't get mad at me for saying, yo, you want to calm down? Like, relax, please. Like,
or just if like you look
get
over
mad at
because
me
obviously
over it. You know what I mean?
Right, like, you're causing a scene.
I'm not dude that dumped you.
Like, this
Because they
isn't
get-
conducive to learning.
Yeah. Well, it's like you get yelled at. Why stop looking over here? Leave me
Yeah.
alone. Like, dude, do you realize
Stop
you're
drawing attention
I
to
was gonna
yourself.
say
Exactly.
you're really dysregulated and causing people to look at you. What
Right,
do you
yeah,
want?
yeah.
Like,
Most people are attracted to noise. They
Yes.
will look when they hear a noise.
Yes,
Absolutely.
exactly.
It's just common.
That's-
It's
that's
just natural.
Exactly it.
Or like, sometimes like I'm just sitting there and like something goes on. I'm like, I look over and then they give me the mug look. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just like trying to figure out what's going on so I can understand and block that noise out of what's going on over
Right.
there. If you're gonna have drama, do it on your own time, please.
we need shirts that say that.
There's the door. Go.
Yeah, we can make that happen if
If
you
you're
want.
gonna have drama,
do
do
it
it on your own
Do it on your own
Exactly.
time.
Because like as my teacher says, like why would you? Because like taking away someone's like learning experience and what they're trying to learn, they're actually focused on it and they're actually wanting to learn about it.
Right, it's not
If someone's just making a scene, like you really think that that person's gonna want to be in that class no more? No.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I hate to say it, but I deal with it. Okay? Personally, I feel like men and girls should have their separate gym times for their own things. That's my opinion. Or at least be separated into two groups. So, you know what I mean? Because I'm not even joking, in my school.
That poor girl in the back of the gymnasium during dodgeball day, dude. You know what I mean, bro? So I get what he's saying.
But and then what happens is just they complain and then they don't do it. But then if a boy were to complain and say, I don't want to do it, then I'm not even joking, I swear the teachers are biased. They will say, no, you have go play, go do something. You know what I mean? It's why are you telling me to go do something? You tell them they can do another thing.
Right.
If I want to take a break for 10 minutes, let me take a break.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Not
tell them, kid.
Exactly. Well, no, because then they'll send me down to the principal's office for being disrespectful.
Well, I mean, you can advocate for yourself.
Exactly.
You can't anymore.
No,
it's like a weird scenario. You can't advocate for yourself, but all everything is about is standing up for yourself.
Yeah.
What?
That's how the world is right now.
It's ridiculous, dude.
You can't say what you want to say and stand up for yourself.
Correct.
But you're supposed to stand up for yourself.
Correct.
That's what the world tells you, and that's why everybody down to teens is all jacked up in the head because everything is hypocritical.
Yep.
Okay, well, I'm a if you see something, say something person.
Yeah,
and I'm always going to be an
100%.
advocate for yourself and advocate
Oh,
for
yeah,
your needs
definitely.
because you have to.
Same.
Definitely.
Because that's crazy.
It's like that at my job too. I'll fucking.
I do get what you're saying. Though. That's just.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have an opinion on something that goes against what somebody else thinks, you're wrong. But they're okay to have their opinion and stand up on it.
I feel like jobs do that.
COVID brought that out a lot.
I'm an assistant deli manager.
It really did.
If my manager messes up and shit like that, I can't say. I can voice my opinions and stuff like that, but it's not going to change because that person is in their position, and I'm looked at as just an assistant. And not a secondary manager.
You know what I feel like places also do? They push wellness and then everything about their workload and everything does not lend to wellness.
It's not well.
It's not well. We'll be we advocate for wellness, employee wellness, and then it's no. They don't care. Your workload is so.
They give you 4 hours of homework.
Yeah, right.
8 hours.
They're make sure that you take care of yourself and you take time for yourself. I can't because I have 4 hours of homework of stuff that I have to do because you dumped it on my desk last minute.
Right. Yeah, but do something for yourself.
Just wear something, dude. Just because you're swinging. It's
The one thing I hate is when
Stop swinging. You're hitting the mic.
One thing that I hate is those kids who are they want homework, but they don't want homework. You know what I mean?
Who wants homework?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But sometimes
I've never once walked into any class and been like,
no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't talk to these people, Cam. I don't know who these people are.
I know, but sometimes kids they're oh yeah, I'm gonna get it done in 5 minutes. I'm gonna rush through it, and it's because I have friends who will let me copy their work, and 90% of the time the questions are wrong, and the answers are wrong, and it's why don't you actually build the skills so you can do it yourself and not rely on everyone, which you most likely have been doing your whole life? Because why would you
So I tell the kids every day I have the same conversation.
Smart. You are smart.
Same conversation.
These kids, his generation is running our country in 20 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
Think about that. You look at the world, think about that. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
Well, Cam is an upstanding young person.
Not because he's my own kid. Not because he's my own kid, but kids like him give me hope.
Oh yeah.
That we're gonna be okay when they're running it. You know what I mean?
You see a lot more kids being stepping out and being advocates and stuff like that, or even entrepreneurship. You know what I mean? 10 years old and already making money.
You got 10-year-olds that are making millions and millions of dollars, bro. That know everything that they need to know. Buying houses and crap like that. You know what I mean? So it's
they take the time to
good
learn
to
it.
see.
Right.
But if you look at the whole picture, That's a very small amount.
It's a small percentage.
Very, very small amount. The rest of it's like, yo, are we gonna be okay in 30, 20 years, bro?
Because a lot of kids,
Our generation.
yeah, a lot of kids cam aside. Like they don't want to take the time to learn anything anymore. I see it at my job all the time. I'm like, hey, like we're gonna like do this. Like, no, I don't want to. I'm like, but like, what do you want to? I was talking to one kid. I was like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And, she was doing math. She was doing her math homework, and she just like it was super simple, just simple math.
Yeah.
But she's like, oh, I don't want to do it. Oh, it's gonna take me forever. I was like, what do you want to do when you grow up? She's like, I want to be a fashion designer. I said, cool. That's amazing.
That is
I
amazing.
said,
You need that.
so you need to know how much the fabric is gonna cost.
Right.
When you go, oh no, I'll just like guess it. No, but you need to. Okay, so you need to know how much the fabric is going to cost. You need to know how much you're going to sell it for. You need to know what your markup is going to be. Like you need to know. This is simple math. You need to know this. You think that just because you don't do your math homework, you're going to be a fashion designer?
Yeah, right.
There's so much more that goes into the fashion designer than just designing clothes. I'm sorry
Your
to tell you, honey.
inventory, you gotta take inventory.
You need to know how much your inventory is. You need to know what it's going to look like at the end of the month. You need to know how to learn how to budget your business. Sorry, that's
all
basic
math. All
and that's
basic
all
math.
basic math.
Yeah, it really is.
Addition, subtraction, maybe some multiplication in there sometimes, but
That goes into every
Basic.
single business you own. Your management.
Yeah.
That's what management is.
Right.
they don't care. They're like, oh, just tell her I forgot it. Tell her you forgot it. If I ever forgot my homework, I was finding somebody to find a note sheet and writing every single
Yeah.
question down before I got to class the next
Yeah,
day.
exactly.
Now they're just like, no, just tell her I forgot it.
What good does that do you? And plus, it's not like they're asking you to find the diameter of a circle 16 times over. You know what I mean? But it's like simple math. For me, it's math pre-algebra. It's whatever. But it's like, when I really, 90% of the things, though, like, sometimes you won't need. You know what I mean? But it's good to have.
You are absolutely right.
Like, finding,
I hadn't thought about that.
I don't know, but, honestly, pre-algebra, some kid, and, he's not in pre-algebra, but he's my friend still. He's 14. He stayed back a grade, right? But he's a smart kid. You know what I mean? His mom treats him well too. But his mom's kind of because he has money. I'm not gonna lie, and his mom restricts him, which from using that money before he's 15.
Smart.
Which honestly, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's smart. Because why would you let let's say a 12-year-old run off with 10 grand and say buy what you want with it? I'm not gonna restrict you. You think that money's gonna last more than 3 weeks?
It's no
I don't
responsibility.
think it's gonna last 3 hours.
Exactly. I want this. I want that. I want that. I want that. I want
Camera
that.
store,
I
I
want
got
that.
you. 10 grand gone.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you also have to consider the things that you need, not what you want. Say if you dropped your camera and the camera broke, you need a new camera for what you're doing, then you go get a new camera. But if you already have a camera, why would you need another one if you don't need it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just have to think if I don't need it now, I might as well wait to see. You know what I mean? Because sometimes and people they buy as soon as it comes out, but then a newer model comes out for $50 more and it's better. You know what I mean? Then you wasted your money on something that you did not need.
Patience is a virtue.
Which I feel that's what more kids need, though. It's just patience.
Those shoes.
I think people
But
in
yes.
general, yeah. It's a tough lesson to learn. I had to learn that.
Yeah, that's why I just worry about people's mental health and stuff, and just how people handle those things. You're not learning the value of money. You're not learning things in school. You're not learning how to handle situations. You're just yelling and screaming in the middle of the lunch area.
You're fighting.
People just aren't handling things the right way anymore. It really scares me. Honestly,
Yeah.
It scares me a lot.
We were talking about this earlier. Don't get me wrong. I'm petrified of snakes. Okay, highly petrified of snakes.
I got a funny video to show
But-
you later.
I'd rather face a snake than another human any day of the week.
Yeah.
Because you literally don't know. Like, that's scary. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what they've been through. You don't know what they're capable of. You don't know. You know what I mean?
It's true.
I guess I like never think about. Obviously, I think about it from a different angle. Like, I guess that's why I find people so interesting, because everybody has such a different story. You don't know where they came from. You don't know what they've seen and they've been through. But I guess I never thought of it from like that scary type of thing.
Yeah. Humans do scare me. People scare me because you don't know. I don't know how you're gonna react.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're gonna react. I don't know how you're gonna react. It don't matter if I've known you 5 years. You know what I mean, dude? We could be having a conversation one day. I say something and you snap because it triggered something in you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so you just don't know. That's scary.
Yeah.
To me, to be honest with you.
That's what we were talking on Chris Poirier Kim's episode, was like, we just don't know what triggers people. And, and that's why we have to be cautious of people's mental health and
definitely
like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially
1,000%.
You know, and speaking on, I know we were going to talk about it, but just like, obviously June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and you know, it's one of those things that's little talked about and
very little
like advocated for. Like, even one of my teens, that's one of the platforms that he stands on, is like, it's still not okay for a man to cry.
No,
like,
it's
it's
not.
still it's not okay for a man to share his emotions about how
it is okay. Let's just say that real quick for our viewers here. It definitely is okay. We're not saying it's not here.
We're saying society is.
Right, exactly.
That's what society tells you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off like that.
No, you're good. You're good, man. You're good. You're messing with me. No. But it's true though, and it's crazy, and that's why, you know, there's a lot of men that get into certain relationships and then their spouse or whatever is confused on why they don't have communication, is because they were brought up like, don't show emotion, you got to be tough, you got to push through it, you got to do this, you got to do that, and it's like, no, you can be a human and have emotions along with it.
Well, that's one thing I tell him even at a very young age, like, yo, it's okay to be mad, it's okay to be upset,
100%.
It's okay to be sad, but don't live there.
Exactly.
Deal with the issue, process the issue, however you got to do it, talking, play video games, however you process your thoughts, do it. Feel those emotions. It's okay to be upset, but don't live there. And I think that's where a lot of men get stuck, is they do live there. Because you're like, let's be honest here. Doesn't matter how long I'm in a relationship, it's a default by me, and it's been an issue from day one with all the relationships I've been in. I'll go talk to the homies about my problem before I'll go home and talk to my lady. About my problems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Any day of the week, dude. Any day of the week. Because once I show that level of emotion to a female, she may look at me differently.
If you show something else.
You know what I mean? Other than a provider, being masculine, being, you know what I mean? Like, the one that she turns to. You know what I mean? Like, that's how we're raised as men. We're made.
Because we don't want to be seen weak.
Your wife.
This is
you
so
are to protect
interesting
your household.
to hear.
You are to protect, you are to do this, you are to do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you saw me bawl my eyes out ugly and we're in an emotional relationship, that may change your persona and the way you look at me. And now you'll never look at me like that again, because you see me in my most vulnerable moment in my life.
I think that's got to depend on the person.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kim. What were you going to say?
I was going to be like, because like then like you crying, you know what I mean, when you're in a relationship like that, it just makes you look weak, and like one thing like I don't like is that when.
But that's how we're raised though. Yeah. That's how society rubbed dirt on it.
Because you see it on TV too.
You scrape your knee when you fall. What did your dad used to do? Run over and be like, oh, okay, take care of you, put a Band-Aid on it, right? My dad would be like, yo, rub some dirt on it, dude. Stop being a little pussy. Stop crying. Get up. Get back in there. We're raised from day one to be tough.
You see it
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you see it in pop culture. You see it in movies. Oh, the girl leaves the guy because he was too weak, and you know. So then you're like, nope, can't show it because you know even TV is telling me.
That's where like I have a huge problem with that.
See, like it, you know, like you said, it depends on the person, because like that person should be there for you no matter what.
It does.
Right. That's why I'm
you know
like,
what I mean? It does depend on the person. Not every person.
Not
is the same.
like
We're not saying
because
that.
like I think that's so wrong, and like obviously I feel like you gentlemen like have a good idea of me as a person. Like I'm very much like, feel your feelings, I'll hold space for you, like that's like exactly. I got you, like what do you need in this moment? So I feel like if I had a partner and I saw my partner experiencing that emotionally, I think the last thought I would ever have is like, this man's weak.
The world needs
Do you know what I mean?
more women like you.
Like
the world needs more
last-
women like you. I'm sorry, it does.
Like, and I'm not trying to like contradict what you're saying. I'm saying that's actually really sad that people do that because, or how about this? I'll reel it back. The way that I would think about it is if I saw my partner really like emotionally distraught is like, I would know that this needs to be such a level of shit hitting the fan. Sorry, Cam. Because my partner's letting me see that.
Right.
Because I also know that society doesn't set you gentlemen up in a way that you're going to be feeling your feelings and leaning into them. I get that. So like, I think automatically I'd be like, oh my, like, okay, something big really happened. But I think next I would be like, oh, why wouldn't you feel like, obviously if they're showing you that, that's love. That's trust. You don't show everybody that. You know what I mean? Like,
if I love you enough, if I trust you enough,
get
like
that.
you show nobody that but that person.
Right. Like, so I almost feel like if it is a true partnership, whether or not you want to show that to your partner is completely on you, and that is completely your decision. And I respect that. But I feel like it should be on the table. Like, that should be okay.
And that, it should be a good
It should
Do you
be
know what I
okay.
mean?
You are right. It should be. But in a lot of cases, it's not.
And the sad part is too, for a lot of men, I'll group myself into this too, that breaking point, that's from like multiple punches to the face. That isn't just one hit to the face. That's multiple punches that you've just taken and just sat with. And just kept and just
You're internalizing
put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just hold on to that. And then finally you just hit that one. You get the uppercut, and then it's like,
snap.
And it's done because that person has done like everything they possibly could. They just keep getting hit and hit and hit. And they don't know what to do anymore. They need.
And it may not even be from the relationship itself.
Exactly.
It may be
That's the other hard part too.
It may be from the drive from work that day to he got fired from his job that day to his mom called him and they got into an argument or found out. You know what I mean? It literally may not even be.
That's also
the root may not even be the issue of the relationship. The relationship may be rock fucking solid. You know what I mean?
As human beings, though, and I try to catch myself when I do this, but like a huge thing that I've been realizing lately is like, it is so common. People personalize your actions so fast. Like, no one's actually thinking about your circumstances or like the root cause of that action. Like you said, like it could be you got stuck in traffic, you got a phone call, you like whatever, but like someone will look at you and your actions and automatically like create this storyline that has to do with them. I get it. Brains stories are safe for brains.
Correct.
So that's what brains do.
Yeah.
But like, you gotta know the difference between when your brain is creating a storyline and like what is actual reality, because everyone takes things so personal. And it's like, no, dude, like I'm just living my life. Like I'm just trying to get by doing my own thing. You know what I mean? Like I'm just trying to pay attention to like my own lane. And I think people get so caught up in like in their feelings sometimes.
They don't deal with them. They don't process them.
Yeah. And I think mental health is huge. Like we're only as good as our mental health, honestly. So if you're not taking care of yourself or you don't have the wherewithal, like I don't know. Like I don't know what to tell you, because like that's gonna affect every single thing you do, every single person that comes along your path.
Every
like
interaction,
if you're not good, nothing you do can be that good, right? You know what I'm like?
You're just stuck.
Right.
And the hard part is too is like you go ahead, my fault.
No, that's I was breaking what she said.
A lot of times you end up hurting somebody that you had no intention of hurting. Again, like and I've been in this situation, and like with like my wife, like she'll say something that is like super completely innocent, but because of the day that I've had, the beatings that I've had over the past couple weeks or whatever, and then she just says one thing that normally I would just laugh and shake my head at and whatever, but it tips that scale over, and then now I'm lashing out at her, and then I have to like take a moment, sit back and be like, listen, like that wasn't you at all. Like I'm sorry, like that wasn't you. That was just me dealing with 20 other things that happened before. But it's like, it's bad because those aren't people that you want to hurt, or just in general, or just anybody in general. Like, you just see somebody out on the street and somebody's like, hey, good morning. You're like, shut up. And like, because you,
Oh my God,
you know,
Definitely have done that sometimes.
That
Yeah.
has definitely been
but,
me.
you know, but you don't know where that came from.
Right,
and
yeah.
then the guy's like, dude, I was just trying to say
yeah,
hello.
yeah.
Why are you smiling at me?
Yeah. But you don't know where they're at.
Right, exactly. You do literally don't. And the fact that like more so men don't feel comfortable enough to talk about their feelings. I'll admit it. I don't talk. I very rarely do I talk about my feelings. I might here and there, you know what I mean, to certain people, but I don't, and that's how I was raised.
Yeah.
But exactly what I was going to say, but it's like,
I grew up watching. My stepdad was basically my dad. All right, so story-wise, dad. I grew up watching dad going through shit, and he dealt with it.
Yeah.
He went to work, did what he was supposed to do. You know what I mean? To this day, same thing. He's not a really lovey-dovey feely guy. He's not a let's sit down and talk about my feelings type person. You know what I mean? So that's how he was raised. That's how I was raised. You know, it's like the only thing we can do, I guess, as men, as ourselves, we can't fix us. We can fix ourselves, yes. But the ways raise it more, use our experiences for our future's generation.
right.
You know what I mean? Like I tell him, deal with your feelings, be in your feelings, but don't live there. Do what you gotta do, man. Deal with it. You know what I mean? Because as a man, it is very stressful to have to deal with everyday life, being a provider, being a protector.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Not showing that weakness in fear of, you know what I mean? And it may not even be you. It may have been Susie Q the before you that I broke down in front and cried of, and she told me, like Jay said, you're too emotional. I can't deal with you right now. But yet, on the flip coin, you can come to me screaming and hollering and crying and bawling your eyes out because Starbucks was out of your favorite Frappuccino. But I can't come to you and cry to you about a serious matter that's really breaking my heart, and you take me literally seriously. You know what I mean? Like, that's, for a man to show emotion like that, a lot of it has to do with how you react. And I promise you, if he doesn't get the response from you as a female that he's looking for, then he would never show that emotion with you again. He won't do it, because that's how men are programmed to shut down like that. Okay, cool, this don't work. Next. You know what I mean?
And it's hard to make those psychological changes the older you get, because you're just so.
Correct.
It's
It
like
really is.
the old dog, new tricks type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to break out of that once it's like embedded in you. And,
Yep.
you know, you just constantly are dealing with it until you have those people that are you know, you have these conversations and stuff. And even then, it's not always easy to, it's kind of the practice what you preach or whatever, but it's even hard to.
It's always
having
easy.
these conversations to then be like, all right, I need to make a change, because
Yeah, right.
easier said than done.
Right.
And then it's like, how tough is that though? It's, if you're being mindful, you're trying to make that change, and like you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, and you're being vulnerable, and all of the things that are like, make you want to throw up because you're like, this is new. And then someone looks at you in your face and either says you're too emotional or like you're acting like a bitch or something.
Yeah, life
like,
just goes.
how can you even do like?
It's like, okay.
That's, I don't know. I just feel like the way society sets up men in general is it's just shameful. Like when it comes to like mental health and feelings and just enjoy. It's like, really, are you just supposed to be like stoic all the time and just deal? Like, come on, you're human too. Like,
I don't know if it's still true or not, but I remember growing up at one point, I heard that suicide rate to death to women, men win. But not win. I'm sorry, I hate to put it like
No,
that.
I get what you're
but
saying. The
suicide rate
numbers
is
are
higher
high.
in men than it is in females.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if it's still like that, but like I heard it growing up at a certain point in my life that's what it was, and like looking back, it makes sense.
I think so.
It really does.
Definitely have to look that up. Maybe throw it on the screen.
You know what I mean?
Because it's important. Like, it's an important thing to look at and just realize and figure out what.
I'm gonna feel like a
that
jackass
causes.
if you look this up and I'm wrong.
No, I know, but there is a lot of merit to what you're saying, because
Yeah.
I think in certain age brackets, like for example, in older, like I think it is more common for older men than it is for older women. Just because if you think about it, like look at that time in the life,
Right.
what could you be going through? Maybe that gentleman like could have lost his job
Yeah.
or something, or where something in is being like questioned. You know what I mean? Like you said, you're the provider.
Right,
So now
exactly.
something has happened where maybe that's questioning you being the provider, or
Yeah.
you can't do the same things,
Yeah.
or just for example, or whatever. But I'm pretty sure you are correct about that.
Do you know how
statistic.
shitty of a feeling it is not be able to provide for your family? As a man, it's degrading. It really is.
Well, I'm a woman. I will never know how that
Physically
feels. But
won't know,
like,
you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, to put it in spectrum to people, like, yo, that shit's real. Like, that's.
I
You know what
imagine
I mean?
that that's really tough.
Don't get me wrong, me and Cam were good now, but there was a lot of times when I first got him, bro, that I felt like dog shit because I wasn't able. We were living in a house with fucking 9 other people, dude. The kid was eating half his meal, sliding it to me and make sure I ate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we had it rough. It was rough. That is like very degrading because as a man, I am raised to protect my family, provide for my family, nurture my family, give him a roof, give him food, give him clothes, make sure he's healthy. I don't work. I'm unable to do that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then now, let's just say, okay, at the time, if I had a girlfriend or whatever, now she's on my ass. You ain't paying the bills, you ain't contributing, blah, 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 blah. So it just adds to it and adds to it and adds to it. You know what I mean? So I see what you're saying as far as maybe it's age bracket wise that I may be higher, not just a general all around.
Yeah. And it's sad too because it is trickling down into the younger kids.
Yes.
Oh, it is, dude.
Like I just did a conference. I just went to a conference and they said something. It was like, I don't know if it was like 1 in 100 or 1 in 300 kids, teens, whatever, are like committing suicide now. Which
I wouldn't
like,
be surprised if it's one in
That's like a big number. That's like a big
Ridiculous.
number.
That
Like
is
1 in 300. Like that's
ridiculous,
a very big
dude.
percentage.
That's like that's unacceptable. I'm sorry.
It was something
What can we
crazy
do to
like
fix
that.
it?
It
What
was
can we
something
do?
crazy like
Again,
that.
these kids are a future of our nation. We should be treating them as such.
And they
You're
don't.
absolutely
And
right.
they're not learning the right ways to process their
No, they're
emotions
not.
and-
Because again, you got someone at home who got COVID tough and they're bullying people on, you know what I mean, social media.
But I feel like we as people need to take care of ourselves so that way we are making sure that the next generation is taking care of themselves.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like
definitely.
one
gotta set
definitely
the
goes with the
example.
other.
Yes.
Like you have to model certain behavior. You
Yes.
have to make sure that things are going okay. Like whether you're a parent or a caregiver or a mentor or whatever position you're in, like no matter what, people are always going to be watching. People are always going to be listening, right? So it's like you do have to take care of yourself in order to make sure that the next generation is doing that too.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, we just have to recognize that as long as we are benefiting ourselves, like it shouldn't matter if we are having those emotions and people are saying, "Oh, you know, you're being a baby, you're being weak." Like I know that this is good for me.
Right.
So
Exactly.
like you are just in the wrong perspective.
Yeah. You're around the wrong person, the wrong
You know.
environment or what
Right.
have
Just
you.
just in general. So it's like, you know, we have to understand that those things are okay. You
Yes.
know, and that regardless of what people say to us, which again is also just another battle we all deal with
Yeah.
of taking in what people say to us, but we have to try to be better at when people say those things. Again, if it's things that are benefiting our mental health and benefiting who we are, that regardless what they say, like I'm cool.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm doing what I need to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you say. Type of deal.
Yeah,
So-
no, I agree with you 1,000%. It doesn't matter what other people, and that's one thing I try. Who cares, bro? Who cares, Cam? Do you feel that way about yourself? No. Okay, that's all that matters,
Literally,
bro.
like-
That is all that matters, dude. If someone calls you ugly, if you can look in that mirror and say, "I'm not ugly. I think I'm a handsome individual," that's all that fucking matters. At the end of the day, self-esteem. You know what I mean?
like your opinion of me is literally none of my business.
But then again, also you got the flip coin, the psychological point of it. Kid goes to school, gets called ugly for 10 years every single day. What's he gonna do? Think he's ugly. It doesn't matter how many times he looks in that mirror. You know what I mean? But that child should be able to be in a safe space with somebody and they can have a safe conversation. Express their feelings, deal with their feelings, and move on from their feelings.
And I feel like that some parents, like, they don't teach their kids, like, that nothing in this world is bad enough that it's worth to end your own life. Just because you be called ugly and you don't understand why people say it, just be rude. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like more parents have to teach their kids that it's not about what some other people think, but it's about what they think. So, like, and they have to teach them that, like, this world is unfair. Nothing in this world is fair. You can't just get something because you want it. You have to achieve multiple steps before you can get what you want. Like getting big on social media, or like getting big and have your business go up and whatever. So like you have to take the steps. You don't think. Like if you don't think before you do something, you're not gonna make it to where you want to be. So if you think before, and it's just gonna help you.
Right. You're absolutely right.
Dope, man.
I agree with you.
Absolutely. For sure. This has been dope, man.
I know. What good conversation. You know, I can't thank you so much for like all of your input.
For real.
And answering all of my questions. And Crispy, you know, it's always
love, man.
it's always a time when you're here. Like.
Any other final thoughts? Any final thoughts? Anything else?
I mean, sometimes like, I don't know, but like sometimes like I feel like this world's unfair to men, in my opinion, because like if a woman says something that happened to them, like that one time that these 3 girls, they didn't like a boy, so they said something random about what he did, which he didn't do, and people believe them. But if a guy said anything, like no one cares. They just say deal with it, figure out yourself, be a man, step up for yourself. Not like so, and like sometimes like. If you hear like a person say that man has a therapist, they laugh at him because it's in their mind it's not right. But if a female has it, it's perfectly fine.
Good for them, you know. Good for them.
Exactly.
They're strong, and you know, not not getting a therapist. I don't want to say. I don't want to sound like that's, you know, and not to be like it's Men's Mental Health Month. Stand up, but everybody's mental health is important. Obviously, we're addressing.
Definitely.
Mental health. So, you know, we just pray that everybody's mental health is where it needs to be. And if you're working on it, please just keep working, you know, just keep putting in the effort.
There are people out there that care, no matter how much you feel like no one cares. I guarantee you there's somebody in your life around you that cares to listen to what you have to say.
And you know what? I'm going to say it right here. If y'all need somebody to talk to, hit any one of us up. Like, we got you. Hit up the Right Mind Wednesdays podcast. If you ever need anybody, any support, anything like that, we're here to listen. We're here to just listen. You know, we don't even have to respond to anything. We're here to just listen and give that support to anybody that needs it, because that's what the world needs. Honestly, it's just more people to just listen and be a support system that everybody needs. So if anybody that's watching this, and I'll probably share this as well too, but you know, we got you. Just hit us up. So. And that's all I gotta say about it. Anything else before? I want to make sure everybody does their piece. Well, I really want to thank y'all again for coming through. As always.
Oh yeah, dude,
repeat offender.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's alright. I like it. No, I'm just playing. No, I always have a good time here. Like we talked about earlier. Like I don't mind coming. I honestly wish I could come back more, just because. But like.
You're a regular feature.
I gotta let other people get in the spotlight too. You know what I mean, dude? No, but I like to talk a lot. You know what I mean? We always have great conversations. That's why I love coming here, and it's always a different conversation.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. I feel like relieved every time I leave here.
That's good.
Like, you know what I mean?
That's dope. That's what it's about, man. Well, I want to thank y'all. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This has been the Right Mind Wednesdays podcast. We didn't even intro this thing because we just get right to it. But again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. My name is Jay Faith.
My name is L.Y.F.E.
And I'm Kayla.
I'm Crispy.
I'm Cam.
And this is the Right Mind Wednesdays podcast. We'll catch y'all next time. What's up?
What's up?
I'm tired.
What did you say, honey?
I'm tired.
That was perfect. Did you get that?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, okay.
We there.